Cancer, this is your 2012 special forecast brought to you by InsightfulAstrology.com. Cancer, in 2012, your entire year will be defined by a lot of behind-the-scenes inner work. Before I tell you all about that, however, I want to begin the forecast with some love and relationship news. Saturn, the planet of restriction, limitation, and delay, but also commitment and stability, will enter your fifth house after October 5th. The fifth house is love. The fifth house is pleasure and enjoyment and recreation. And the fifth house also rules children. You might feel a little bit stifled in terms of having fun and pleasure and enjoying romance the way that you really want to after October 5th, because some kind of responsibility with love will be put upon you. Maybe if you're single, you'll fall for someone who lives very far away, or due to circumstances you can't be together all the time. It's also possible that you'll go through a little bit of a dry spell if you're single. If you're attached and have children, you might find that your children become more of a weight than ever after October 5th, and that responsibility has a little bit of an effect on the fun romance between you and your partner. Cancer, also related to Saturn being in your fifth house, there will be a solar eclipse on November 13th in the same part of your chart, bringing light and attention to all of the fifth house restrictive and also structural matters of the heart that you need to pay attention to. Then Venus, the planet of love and self-worth, will also have a retrograde cycle from May 15th until June 27th. And Venus will be retrograde in your 12th house. This begins some of the inner work. If you are pining away for someone that you can't have, whether it's a fantasy person, whether it's unrequited love, or someone that loves you back but is committed in some other way and can't be with you, you're going to go back and resolve this issue once and for all, which is a good thing. But it could be somewhat of a painful process to get there. Rest assured that you have a gift now to work on your inner talents and inner treasures and your lovability issues during this time. When it comes to work and career, Cancer, there is some upheaval happening soon. Uranus and Pluto are becoming engaged in a series of squares that begin in 2012. Uranus is in your 10th house of career, and Pluto is in your 7th house of partnership. And on June 24th and again on September 19th, you're going to feel the tension of these squares, and it could result in an upheaval in a partnership matter. If you are in business for yourself and you have a partner, there could be a blowout around this time between you and the partner. If you're in a client-based business, there could be some kind of major shift, major explosion even, between you and this client. If you're married and you're on the career track, you might be quite upset around this time because your spouse might not show you the support that you would hope he or she would. Also, an eclipse on June 4th will fall in your 6th house of work, and it'll be a lunar eclipse. So a work project could come to an end, or someone you work with or someone who works for you might leave. But going back to all of the inner work you have to do, Cancer, we need to really explore your 12th house. The 12th house in astrology is all about spirituality, but it's also everything that's not revealed to the world. It's your inner self. It represents your fears and anxieties and your dream life and everything that you just keep in isolation and seclusion. Jupiter, the planet of expansion and abundance, will enter your 12th house after June 11th, and it's going to put a big focus on your inner world and inner expansion, which is great. You're going to have a renewed sense of faith and peace in a lot of ways, and you're going to feel some kind of divine protection working with you as you go about your daily business. Also, though, there's more 12th house activity. We have eclipses falling in your 12th house. We have a solar eclipse on May 20th, and we have a lunar eclipse on November 28th, tying up real significant lessons about looking within. So Jupiter is going to expand all of this, and then the Venus retrograde. Remember, from May 15th until June 27th, that's within you as well. And you're going to be really looking closely at all matters of self-worth, matters of what you want and what you want in love, what you want with money, what you want with a lot of different areas in your life. And you're going to look at that with a renewed sense of faith and hope after June 11th. Now let's get to home and family. We're going to begin the year with a Mars retrograde cycle. Mars is the planet of action and energy, and it will go retrograde from January 23rd until April 13th in your third house. While it's true that the third house is communication, and you might have some stumbling blocks to overcome with a communications-related matter, I do feel that this Mars retrograde cycle will have more to do with siblings for you. If you have any siblings during this period, you might find that they're going through a hard time, that you're going through a hard time with them, that there's something that needs to be changed in your relationship dynamic, maybe some unresolved anger issues or conflict. It's all going to now come out during these months, and it will need to be resolved. I feel like it's going to be a sibling thing for you because remember, until October 5th, you have Saturn, the planet of commitment and structure, but also restriction in your fourth house, which is home and family. So there's a lot of weight in home and family matters for you early on in the year that you're going to have to wade through. It could be that there's a new responsibility that you're being given in relation to family. Maybe an older relative needs help, or maybe there's something going on at home that makes you feel so isolated and frustrated and like you have to do all work and not get rewarded. That might transfer into some anger issues with siblings that you will have to resolve during that Mars retrograde cycle. But overall, Cancer, as you can see, this is a year of inner stuff. This is a year of you really being honest with yourself about your personal and spiritual direction and about your higher self and getting in touch with that higher self to lead you to the answers you're seeking.